Okay, let's get started. So this is Elliott Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. And I did post a video online if you want to just get a quick market update. And I may touch on some of those points tonight here on our live stream. The market is at a key moment. There's a very bearish setup that either will need to really play out in the next 24 to 48 hours at the most. If that does not happen, then this connector wave will morph into something much more complex, very difficult to trade. But I think eventually we will go down again, no matter what happens. And I did show, a possible, extension in the X wave connector where you do something like this. And we see this pattern all the time, so this shouldn't surprise people. The first clue that happens is if we could come back and take that high out. If we could take that high out, so just keep that in mind. So you just have to understand that scenario, and then you'll need to make a decision on, what is best for you. Here you go. Here you go here and down. That's the ideal path, and we'll see if we get that or not. We did truncate. We did know the futures were a little short, right? And you see this higher high. The futures seem like they're out of sync with the cash market. So maybe early in the session tonight, we'll get like another big pump, and then all hell breaks out with the war morning or maybe during market open. And then this could just collapse back down and be down here. And then that syncs us back up with the futures down here. So I do think like the futures seem like they're out of sync with the rest of the market. Now I do believe that you could, this would be a very unusual top, very bearish if that's the top. And then this would be like a 1-2. And maybe on our stream we'll see 3 play out. So this looks like we have kind of like this 1-2 like across the market right now, across futures, and see what happens. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks impulsive. We'll see if this 2 will fail. Of course, we want to stay below this pivot here to keep this intact. How's Japan doing? Okay, they're down a little bit. A lot of confusion. If we make another swing down, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the direction lower. So again, you want to, if you're trading this, you really need to take this high out. That's the key. Let's look at the yen, because everybody's following the yen these days. How's the yen doing? Kind of stuck, frozen, just almost looks identical to the Nikkei, right? Stuck. What's it going to do? Go down, go up. Again, down means yen strength. Yen weakness, yen strength. What is it going to be? It's a stalemate, standoff. No one knows yet. Okay, let's go to Super Chats as people join, and I'll try to go to all your questions. I'll start with Kaylin again. So the general idea across the market is one more low is kind of the theme that we're thinking about. But as we look at some of these, maybe we've gotten lucky and we've bottomed. But I don't think that's the case. So let's take a look at Sava. Again, hit our short area, reject it. I mean, there's really not much to analyze on this. This is just exactly what we expected, and it's just going to grind lower. So I mean, it's really not too difficult, right? It's not rocket science. We just got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, so we should be pushing up. And now somewhere we'll fail and go down hard. I don't know where the 2 will end. The 2 can end here. It could just keep going. We just don't know. But I think as long as you're below this level, the bear case is intact. I would not get bullish, obviously. And we had the short setup there that played out. All right, Clove. Let's see what Clove looks like. Clove, we had to buy here. We essentially went vertical. We finished the wave 5. The wave 3 is in, and it looks like we're about to finish this wave 4 for one more push higher. Let's go to a shorter time frame. Yeah, there we go. So 178, so we should get a bounce here in this area for the final push higher. All right. Something like that. All right, good luck on that. Then let's see here. Next, Wolf. One more swing down. Still looking for lower. This looks like to me this has to hold. So you really want to hold this, or the X wave is going to come back up in this ABC I was telling you. So this has to hold. We'll dump. If it doesn't, it's going to pump, come up here, and then dump. That's kind of the idea, and then this is just going to be a bigger connector. Okay? Thanks for the super chat. Anonymous, let's go to your super chats. Yeah, let's take a look at what you got. Crypto is tricky to forecast the shorter time frames. I'm just going to say that now. I'm not going to have a lot of insight on the shorter time frames, okay? Bitcoin could very easily go back up to 62, 63,000, I think, and then we reject it. This also could be just an ugly corrective structure that's tops with the market. But ultimately, I believe there is more downside coming here, no matter what happens here. So as this market gyrates and does whatever it wants to do, just like we saw over here, right? Just like we saw over here. See that? Whatever it wants to do there, we won't, it's too difficult to predict. It's not possible. So we're going to have to just look at the big picture. So as I answer crypto, we really got to look at the big picture and then just go from there. So I still think there's a 4 and a 5 coming. So this looks like that 4's in. So I would be looking for one more push lower. Where could it end? Let's see here. So this is 3, 4, 5. We're in Y. So this has to bounce and then fail again. So this is not really, I mean, honestly, I don't think it's tradable anymore. That's why there's a lot of technical damage that's been done across the market. That day we had that VIX spike. But perhaps you get lucky and get it at 471, 386 for a pretty big bounce. But that bounce should fail again. It should fail. So, but it could be a pretty nice, healthy bounce, just like you saw here. But as you could see, that bounce fails. So whatever bounce you get is going to come back, and I bet it's going to test this long-term trend line, is my guess. Ltcn. Let's see here. Looks like it's just grinding lower like we expected. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like it needs its 5th wave as well. And then a pretty healthy bounce. But that bounce should fail. Okay? Like this. Bam. All right, good luck on that. Soul, let's look at that. Whoa, what happened here? Yeah, see, a lot of charts got blown up with this with these drops. Yeah, we'll have to just kind of go back to the drawing board on this. Let's see. That's still 3. Yeah, it's just a big, I think because you have divergence between this peak, that bottom here and that bottom, it will continue lower eventually to erase it. So, and you have none right there and right there. So you're still going to probably head down. You're probably going to head down to retest this area now. Something like this is what I'm thinking. And you already have the first swing out of that. So one more dump. Hopefully one more dump is what I'm looking for. One more dump. And then that should hopefully find the low. Somewhere around here is what I'm thinking. We could try to find a target area, but 148.39. Essentially a retest, so we'll see how it goes, what happens. G-Link. Yeah, G-Link, I will not FOMO into it. I'm just waiting for 558. I'll be there. I'm going to wait. Looks like 1, 2, 3. Connector. 1, 2. Should just keep leading on down. Had a big move today. But this is just noise. To me, that's just noise. It's not even trade. To me, this isn't even tradable. I don't even want to look at this until it's down here. All right, thanks for the super chat, Anonymous Edward. First Solar, let's take a look at that. So, big picture on the solar. If oil is going to dump, solar should dump with it. It almost goes hand in hand and makes a lot of common sense. Now, we are looking at TAN breaking these pivots. So TAN does want to take a puke down to $22. That will should annihilate solar, including First Solar. So I do believe First Solar still got room to go down, and my target's 150. Let's just double check everything, see how things are looking. Maybe that's the connector. It may even go lower. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just label it as an ABC. So maybe looking at 130 now in an ABC zigzag correction. And that makes sense. If TAN's going to 20, oil's going to go, take a dump. Big picture, the future is bright. Short term, a lot of pain. Because it looks like we finished this 5-wave move, right? And look, there's the 4, there's the target. It's perfect. Lines up perfect. This also supports higher energy cost in the future, higher oil in the future. That's what this supports. It also supports that perhaps you're not going to get, the end of the world scenario. Now, the only other chart, we need to always look at the... So, as you can see here, on the weekly, we have no divergence. So I will throw out there that this could be a corrective structure. If it is, we never broke that high. Essentially, it means we'll come back to that low. That would be like massive meltdown. Okay, so that's not my preferred view on this, but you can't deny the fact you have no divergence on that peak. So I'm labeling it this way because the other way is essentially it's going back down and bankrupt. It's like going to $11. So like I said, I'm not going to go there yet. We'll wait and see what happens with this wave down, how intense it is, and then we could decide what's going on with it. Where's oil, right? Did oil go crazy low, or did it find some support? Like, we need to watch how this plays out. And of course, there's always a chance they're still in the connector, and it does like a trap and dump, because we haven't really broke down hard yet. But I think we're going to. Okay, let's go to MMM. Let's see here, MMM. All right. Looks like we called the bottom. We truncated a little bit off of that low. We were trying to get it at 62. It hit 71 and bounced. Massive connector. So this has to be the bottom. If this fails, then 3M is going into the dustbins of history, or needs a bailout. So we need this to hold. So we're just going to back into the low on this and just say that this is a 1-2. This looks like a 1-2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. It looks like you're still in wave 3. You're still in some kind of wave 3 price action. So it should still grind higher. It should still grind higher. But at some point it's going to end and it's going to have a big drop to retrace this. But you really need this low to hold at 71. HYG, that's one I have my eye on for the macro picture, guys. HYG, high yields. We need to keep an eye on that. Let's take a look. All right. So right away, it's 5 down. Okay, so that's 5 down here. All right. So that means this low should be broken at some point. This is a connector. And no divergence. So that's your end of your connector right there. So looking for an ABC pattern. So now we just have to like count impulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And then that looks like a 1, 2. All right, so when this, I guess, starts to melt down, the market should melt down, right? That's the idea, right? So where can this fail? I think that's your connector right there. And it's almost at the sell area. It's literally, and it may have already hit it, 78.94. It may have hit it on Monday, July 1st. Isn't that right when the market started to top? So maybe high yield, that was a key moment. Because once this enters wave 3 of this push lower, you know, typically that's pretty bearish for the market. So could it still push higher? Sure. Right? Let's look. So this is looks like to me 5 up. Looks like an A, B, C, right? 5 up. So we have 5 here. So what we need to check is it a flat? So is the 1 really here? So let's check that out. Let's look at this wave. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. So the 1's there. So you have to kind of take a deeper look at it. And then it's an ABC. And then you can get the 5 up with the divergence. So once you take this low out at 75.51, it's game over for the HYG. It's toast. And I bet the market will be selling off hard if that happens. Now, of course, you want to negate this. You'll want to take this peak back out. So you want to come back up over 78.80. If you can do that. But there you go. HYG is sending you a warning sign. You're running out of time. You're running out of time. Because you're going to get a big drop just like you got here soon. Boom. Down to 51. Just like that. That's what's probably going to happen. Okay. Where's the final low? Because we have a good looking chart here. We could probably project a potential bottom. Here. Yeah, 52.42. We'll just kind of draw that. We'll keep that in mind. But you know, it looks like something's wrong with Trade and VOR. Like this is incomplete, so I wouldn't trust this too much. But I'm just trying what I see here. Okay, anonymous. Let's go back to your super chat. MIGI. Let's take a look. We're getting there. Are we? So we're in this wave too. It could still push up and another push higher, but at some point I expect it to fail, come down to 60 cents, no change. Now I do believe until Bitcoin makes that final swing down, none of these are going to really be at their bottoms, right? So CLSK, the same thing. We were looking for a pump, right? Look at this W. You have a lot of swings, but look, you at least have one major swing and down. So we need at least one major swing. I bet that's what this is here, and a failure. So this could easily go higher. It could go back to 1483, but whatever happens here, it's going to fail, and then that will be your low. That's what I'm thinking right now. So I'll just label it like this here. Maybe it could go higher, back test this, and bam, come back down and do something like that. And then you could maybe have a bottom. HUT. 1, 2. So we still are missing some swings. I don't think it's done. I think it's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming. Okay. Now let's take another look at this bounce. We have to go to a higher time frame. It's actually the same corrective cycle. So we need to take a note. So we're actually going to call a part of that leg. So we're going to relabel it a little bit. So that may be okay to do. Now we'll just kind of relabel it. So it's got to play this out. The 4, this is still 4. Now, if we push up higher, then we got to go back to the graph I had or just showed you. But for now, we'll just label it like this, and we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to go deeper, especially if Bitcoin's going to go lower. All right, DWCPF. So we showed this earlier, I think. Obviously, we have it marked. We had the short entry here, and look, we dumped. Shocker, right? It worked out. So I don't know who asked me for this, but that short worked out, obviously. And we didn't know anything about the Iran war or none of that. Just now we have all these issues. So it's just going to continue lower. It's just going down. So I think you just have to give it time to go down. As long as you're below 21.72, I would expect more downside. Okay? And in an impulse. And it looks like we're still, you can't even see wave 1 has ended yet. You're probably in like wave 3 of 1 of, so this has got probably a lot of time that has to go to get down to here, just like you saw here. If we look, let's see, the weekly has not broke. The monthly has not either. Okay, so with that being said, there's a chance the 5 can extend. I don't think it's going to, but it has to be saved like right now. If it keeps pushing down, that will probably break. Once that weekly cycle breaks, then I would consider this chart confirmed to that point. But right now it's playing out just like we want it. Okay, good luck with that. All right, let's go to the next one, Bama. All right, short term, I think we're getting a wave 5 in silver, which means we'll bounce soon. Okay, this is some of the cross currents in the market that may not, that's why I'm like, Bitcoin could go up to 62, 63. We may actually see silver rally. Those are usually bullish signs for the market overall in technology. This looks like to me a 4-wave, and we get a 5th wave, and then we rally back up to maybe like 27.8, 28. And then of course we'll fail later. But that's what I'm thinking right now. And then down. So short term, down and up is the most likely path. Of course, the most bearish path is a 1, 2, 1, 2, but this wouldn't even be a 2. I would have to label it because usually 2s aren't triangles. You would actually have to, if again, this is the super bearish. This is probably the I call it the crash formation. In silver, it would be 1, 2, and then 1, 2. And then 1, 2. So we'll probably know in a few hours. That's why I don't like to buy it. I mean, I wouldn't be messing around with silver. Silver is not tradable anymore. Its structure is a broken chart. It's a broken chart. It has a super bearish possibility as well as a lot of chop. There's too many possibilities. Silver is a broken chart. The bearish case, obviously, on the long term is it's just flat. We only have 1, 2, 3 up. If this thing really wants to collapse, it's going all the way back down to 17, probably even down to $14 in a stock market crash, guys. You don't want to be messing around trying to, again, pick up pennies if the steamroller's coming, okay? Now, there's a lot of other combinations. We can make a 5th wave, 1, 2, 3. We could push this higher and then come back down later like gold. But who knows? This structure is not good. We broke this low. I mean, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could come up to 30 and come down. It just does not look like to me this is a 4-wave anymore. It looks like whatever happens, it's going down, and it supports supports the flat. It supports this case. So I wouldn't short it here. I wouldn't buy it. This is like sidelines for me, silver right now, until we get a more clarity on what it really is, or we start getting this puke. Like if we just puke down to 24, 22, then we know it's the flat. Then it's like, then I would probably like look to short it on 3-wave pops all the way down into the abyss. Now people are like, oh, you're bullish on silver. What the hell? Well, I'm still bullish on silver. Look where it's going. But a lot of people won't be able to stand that pain. Okay? That's all I'm saying. We're still going to be way up here in the future, guys. I really guarantee that. This cup and handle is going to break out. But I don't get to control how we get there. If it wants to shake out all the weak hands with a crash, let it. Let it. Let it. Because it just sets us up for this later. I mean, so whatever, but the point is the path to get there could be very painful, guys. A lot of these bullish paths that exist should give you a lot of like encouragement about the future, but the short-term path on many charts can be very painful coming up. Way more painful than you can imagine. Okay? I'm just saying. So just because I'm saying it may go down to 14 doesn't mean it may not be $50 in 3 or 4 years. It probably will be. And you'll probably dump it in a panic and then watch it go by. And you'll miss it. So you got to really be careful buying here. So if it drops here, you don't panic, dump it, and then watch it rip later, and then then you're upset with yourself. So you got to be careful here. Okay, you just need to pay attention. So just get ready. That's my thoughts on silver. It's a little bit deeper update because I know a lot of people are interested, but I think this is probably it, and then come up, and then we'll see what happens. The super bearish case still valid. All right, anonymous. Yeah, no problem. That's why I started my channel, guys, is to help people through times like this, and just kind of give people some ideas on how to think about the market. because there's a lot of bad information out there on the internet, and there's a lot of people that are usually either perma bear, perma bull. They're one or the other. And so you know, if you're a bearish bias, you watch the perma bears, and they have great charts and great ideas and great content, and they're usually right, but maybe early. And then you have the perma bulls that have traded this market like pros. So they seem like pros. They probably are driving Lambos and all that. The question is, will they be able to keep them? Are they going to be able to keep all that? And I sometimes I see these traders bragging about stuff, and I'll put in there like, hey, you know, it's great, but when the bear market comes, then we'll see who can keep it. Who's going to be able to keep all those gains? Because a lot of those traders will actually probably, you'll never hear from them again. Their accounts will be blown up. You won't actually see them ever again. And during the bear market at Bitcoin recently, a lot of guys I followed on YouTube, they're gone. They just disappeared. There's some dude just gone. So I figured they just lost everything. They lost their whole stack. So that's what happens in bear markets, guys. They buy the dip like they did in the bull market, and they just keep losing everything. And then they have nothing to show for it at the end, because it's so habitual. So you have to be able to like go in and out and change again. And that's what these computers are doing, by the way. That's why you get whipsawed. They're just programmed to do it without emotion. They just do it on, on these technicals. And that's why computerized trading works a lot of times, because they take the emotion out of it. But that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, guys. All right, LESL, DVA. Let's take a look at that. DVA. All right, looks like that's a new one. Davita, or something like that. Okay. So again, you look at this. That looks like 1-2 right there. This is obviously another one. Now, where are we here? Okay, so if this is a flat and we come back down to this low, this has to hold. You can't go below this, okay? Now, I look at this, it looks like 5. No divergence. Let's go to a weekly. There's your divergence. There's your big move. So yeah, so it's playing out just like the rest of the market in a structure that looks like this. This probably is going to be something like so it's either finished or still in 5. We got a massive weekly cycle reset here. Not on the monthly yet. So more than likely the top's in, and it's just going to make its way all the way back down to these lows here in a flat. And ideally, when this happens, you'll stay above that level, okay? You're short, so you said, hey, that's probably a good idea. So I would, you could keep that short as long as you're below 148.30. Then you could just keep that short and see what happens, and see if you get lucky and get this meltdown. VNO, Vornado Realty Trust, a REIT. Yeah, these REITs been getting hit hard. Looks like 3 down, 3 up. Hit the buy area. You have divergence. So this is 5 down from here. So this is a tough call, because if you call it a flat it's finished here. But you never really, so it's 50-50. I'll call it a flat and just say it's finished, because the alternative means it's essentially going to zero. So I would say that you're short this. I would be very careful being short this, because you also are about, if you broke that high here, then I definitely would not be short this. This is a dangerous, this chart is very dangerous to be short. Here's your 4. Even if it's going to go lower, it usually goes back to the 4. So you have a big risk of this kind of move happening. That may be something to try to short if you're tempted. So I would be, I don't recommend it, but you have to do what's best for you. It's very speculative. I would say that you have a lot of danger of this, something like this playing out, or possibly turning into an impulse and just it keeps going up and it bottomed here. So it either bottomed, or it's 1, 2, 3. So it's like a WXY, and that's A, B, and then C, bankruptcy. So you're basically playing for bankruptcy if you're short here. And if you don't get it, it's just going to keep going higher, because this could be a major low. All right, so that one's a danger. That one's, I think, more dangerous. All right, Nick, GME and AMC. Let's take a look at those. How did they fare today? I know GME had a tradable long position that we talked about yesterday. How did that fare today? Okay, it was up, like the rest of the market. All right, like the rest of the market, it's in looks like a corrective structure here until, well, let's go to the 15-minute. Whoops, just to verify. Yeah, that's an A there. It looks like to me it's some kind of like A, B, C, 1, 2, like maybe a little more upside. Or it could be finished. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, it looks like it's missing one more high in C, but then again, it's already topped. The cycle's already broke on the 15-minute. See that? So this is, I'm just going to label this as a corrective structure. It's not perfect. Maybe I could put the B there. So, so I would say you need to take this high out, where it's a corrective bounce, which means you're going to break this low. Now, if we can take this high out, then I think you can make an argument that it's something like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have a possibility of finding support at 2050 and then coming up to 2350 or even higher. So very important day tomorrow in this, but it looks like it isn't going to happen. I'm just being honest with what I see here. This is what I see. So I think that's how I look at GME right now. So I would be, if we wake up tomorrow and it's got a big dump down, then I would be looking at corrective. I'm looking at it to break this low and a corrective bounce. If it can make a push higher, then I think there's a chance that this low will hold for a while. AMC, same thing. It was in kind of a do or die situation. Like I said, off of this low. The good thing is we, looks like we have, let me just go to a shorter time frame. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one looks like we have, see, it looks like an impulse to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this was just no divergence. So to me, this is actually more of like a connector wave. But then, did we break this high? We didn't. Let's look at the after hours. Yeah, no. So I look at this just like GME. We need to take this high out. If you can't, it's a corrective bounce, and it risks going all the way back down. It's undecided. It doesn't know. We'll have to wake up tomorrow and find out what it wants to do. So these areas to me are definitely no trade zones. But If you're already long it, maybe take a little bit of profit. And then if you start seeing it peel off in the morning or we open and it's down here, then I think you could pretty much safe to say this is going to break. Now, if we could come up, then I think you have a chance that it could keep pushing higher. So it's at a very important critical moment. All right, Joshua, appreciate the big super chat, man. And I don't see a question, but if you got a question, just let me know. So let's take a look at everything. Okay, just got another super chat in from the Big Ganks. Big Ganks. Do you have a trade set up for the futures right now? Let's see. Let's take a look at what the futures. Now my futures lag, my data lags. Okay, so okay, so the setup on the Dow, you wanted the Nasdaq or Russell. Okay, so I'll go to Nasdaq or Russell. So we're trading off of that high. Now, here's the thing. This is an important level because if this breaks, it should really push us high, a lot higher, I think. Okay, up into this area, even this up to here. I mean, that's pretty high. That's a big pump. Now, so you have to assume that it won't. Almost the opposite of backing into a low. Now, you can label this as 5, and that is 3. So let's look at this individual sequence that what's playing out here. We'll have to go to the shorter time frames and see. Yeah. So it looks like to me this is an impulse down, okay? Knowing that, it typically comes between the 4 and the 2. So we may see it come back up to 18,302, 303. Looks like a 1, 2, looks like we're making an impulse off this low right now. Something like this. Right? So that would be A. We get B, we get C. If this plays out tonight and you see a clear connector like a dump and then it rips back higher, then what I would do is just take this and project the target, wherever it is, and then you could try to short it in this area against this high. So I'll just leave it like that. We'll see if it works. See if I'm a fortune teller or not. See if that's what happens tonight in the market. Something like that. Good luck. Russell. Let's look at the bigger count. So the Russell here. Now this type of move usually means it's going higher. So the trade set up in the Russell is 2138 short in this area, as this finishes its sequence. Something like that. That's the trade set up in the Russell right there. Again, may not happen, but that's the only play in the Russell that I can see. Three, something like that. That's what you're hoping for. Will you get it? I don't know. If you can get that, erase divergence, take all those peaks out, which I think that's what we're doing. So again, everyone wants to buy right now. I don't know, again, why anyone would be buying the market, but I think it's more not buying, it's just the absence of sellers, because I think the sellers are going to wait for the news to drop to help amplify the magnitude of the decline. So they're just holding back their ammunition, right? Why waste your ammunition if you know in 24 hours, you got a major guaranteed news event that's probably going to happen. So you're just going to wait, and then as soon as that news event hits, then you just flood the market with all your sell, and then you really scare the shit out of everybody. That's how you do it. So you don't want to waste your ammo here. No way. You want to get this thing up as high as it can go. as high as you can get it, because that's all profit to you in the future, as if you can get it short. So that's probably why it's just going to melt up tonight until whenever the bombs start dropping. Now, if there's no bombs, then I do think you're going to get some of these even higher targets. But again, I do believe the macro picture will come back. The yen carry trade, strain, all that will come back. So it's not just the Iran war pushing this market around, but that is a major news event that could come. So we'll see. Now, here's a situation that's happening right now while we're watching it. See how it's pumping up? If we hit this area and we erase divergence, like we're doing, let's go back to the 5-minute. Okay, so we're erasing divergence. So this see how it morphed? It was 5 and now it isn't. So now what I would be looking for is a new area here to short it. Let's see here if I can get this right. 1, 2, 3. That would be your connector. So the setup would be right here in that area. 18.305, 18.344. If it's just going to go straight up. So again, that's right between the 4 and the 2, just like we like it. That's where we like it, right there. Okay. So you have to, that's why it's hard to day trade. It's just these things morph into stuff. So you have to just adapt and change. That's why I don't like trading the shorter cycles, but that's where I think it's going to. Wants to go right up to this area. Again, we take this high out, then something else is happening within the market, and I do believe this could come all the way up to this area here, which is a pretty big pump. Okay, that's a pretty big pump. All right. Let's see, it looks like the Nikkei broke. So with the Nikkei breaking out, let's take a look at how we would relabel that. Go to the 45. So as long as you're below this peak, you would still label it as a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we'll just get the new target for wave 2 and try to project a new target for it. Let's see here. Probably, let's take a look here and see where that takes it. Right about to here. There. All right, we'll see if it can reverse there. Takes this high out, then the bearish case is negated, and then this is a 4. And then we'll be pushing up in this 5th wave. And then we should get the B. So the problem, remember, we had to force this kind of to end. Like, we never really liked this, right? It's only like, doesn't look like 5 waves. It almost looked like that was the 4, right? So perhaps that is the 4, okay? So we don't know. That's why there's no trade. Like, I wouldn't trade the Nikkei, but it is driving the rest of the entire stock market. So we want to start paying attention to what it's doing. All right? Alrighty, let me scan through your comments and see what's going on. And again, my data lags probably. I won't be able to get to all of them. End phase is easy. If it breaks that major low, swing low, it's a wipeout. It's going to go all the way down. And so it's like backing into a low. That chart, you really have to hold that low. But it doesn't look like it will at First Solar. It's going to go down to 130. And the tan to 2025. I worry about long natural gas. Oil is on the verge of a wave 3 dump. If oil takes a wave 3 dump, I mean natural gas probably will dump with it. So it scares me that you're in oil. Yeah, I'm able to do the consistent live streams right now. It won't be the case when I move. I'm moving out of my place into my new place in Florida at the end of the month. And so it'll be like a week or so where I'm not going to be able to do much live streaming. But hopefully by then whatever mess we're in is kind of over and we can get like a sideways market for a while or something. Oh, SMCI. Yeah, let's look at that. I heard when I saw the news, it's like pumping. I was like, shit, why is it pumping? Because I didn't think the semis were ready to pump like that. And then I saw a post that said like good call on it. So then I saw it reversed. So let's take a look at what's going on this thing. I don't know why I don't have the after hours data on this. Well, whatever. I guess it pumped and failed. So it never hit our buy area at 465. Let's look at the swings. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you do have the swing. So you made another swing down. That's not good then. That's an impulse down. We'll have to let this play out tomorrow. I don't know. I guess if it pumped and it held this low at 529, it could be this. Right? So because the swings are in, and I think it went deep enough. I mean, it didn't quite hit it. Divergence erased. Weekly. Yeah, so I would say we need to let this play out. I mean, maybe the pump was a connector or like, I don't know. But I really wanted to see it hit like 407, this long-term trend line, and come back down here. So I thought we were short. That's why I was surprised it was like pumping so hard. But then I heard it, yeah, it faded at all. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's look at Coinbase, and I'm curious about Intel myself, so I'll look at that. Coinbase did make it to the buy area we had. If you look here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. It looks like you need one more low for 5. Just like Bitcoin, one more low. Boom. That's what you're hoping for. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. If it doesn't do that, it will morph into something else. It could even still be in B even if it doesn't. So like we don't know, but we had this for months and it hit it. So again, another one that kept you guys from falling into this trap here. Let's look at MicroStrategy. That's another way to time it. See, MicroStrategy isn't there yet. See, we're not there yet. See, this is another clue that Bitcoin's got more downside coming. If MicroStrategy hasn't, and guys, I gave this top call. I mean, I hope no one was caught by surprise. And this actually is missing a bigger push down. Okay, so let's look at Intel. I'm curious about how that one fared after earnings. It is close to one of our buy areas, the oh crap target, which I thought would never be hit. Got hit. Looks like 3, connector 3. You don't even see about, like you don't even see, look. So I told you guys this about Intel. After it happened, I said, if Intel comes back down, it's going to probably come back down to 1272. But if it breaks 767 this low, it's a go to zero. It's a bailout. It's a like going concern is I think what they said on TV. So I didn't know there was that many issues with this company because after this earnings came out, they paraded people on TV about Intel fundamentally, and they said there's like actually warnings about it being a going concern. And I'm like, well, hey, that's what I'm seeing in the chart actually play out now. And I didn't know. I thought Intel was cool. I didn't know there was anything wrong with the company. I mean, did they like borrow a lot of money or something? And they're like, I don't know the fundamental picture, but you had like 2 or 3 people, analysts, come out and they're saying like, yeah, there could be there may be a going concern issue here. So yeah, you don't want to buy this, guys. You don't want to buy. I promise you don't want to buy it. These big companies can go out of business and need a government bailout. As Ford in 2008, you know, and all those companies, like they all got bailouts, right? But maybe this time there ain't no bailouts to go around. Maybe the money's out. There's no more money to go around. That you know that there's no more money. We're broke. USA is broke, and you have like such a conflicted Congress that can't agree on anything. They won't pass it. Do you really think Congress and this president and this like with the Republican, they're never going to agree to pass TARP again? There's going to be no bailouts this time. I don't think so. I don't think there'll be any. If the company fails, they're gone. They're gone. They're off the map. No matter, I mean, that's what's going to happen. There will be no bailouts unless Warren Buffett wants to bail out some companies or Apple with all their cash. I'm just saying, guys, this is a horrible chart. But we're not. It's not like all. You know, it's not dead yet. This is the area, so I'll be looking for this. But it looks like it's got a lot more. It needs more time. I'll just say it needs more time to play out. Yeah, the futures are pumping. Yeah, and I'm expecting them to pump, right? I just showed all that. They should pump because they're out of sync with the cash market, guys. They need to pump. You really need them to. We really need them to. Again, if they break this high, then it's going a lot higher. I mean, like I said, I trade unemotionally. Okay, NASDAQ, it's getting close to the area where it could get rejected. Okay, right around here, it's getting close. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't, and we break this high, well then, yeah, it opens us up for those higher prices I have up there. Let me just double check the target. Yeah, I have it off a little bit there. Okay. Yes. Same thing. So I have these targets, you know, so you're just going to have to do what's best for you and just kind of trade carefully. You know, a volatile market is dangerous. It's hard for traders, right? It's whipsaw, price action. Like today, we're up. I was looking, we're up 700 something points. I step away to do some things. I come back, it's like we close around 200. I was like, what the hell happened? But that's a bear market, guys. That's what happens in a bear market. It pumps like that. Crazy pumps, obscene pumps. And then they just disappear out of nowhere. They're just like gone, the whole thing. And then it was actually no news. It was just a technical dump. So I mean, yeah, it's pumping, but in like 10 minutes, it could be all gone. So I don't know. So I don't really, so all we just kind of try to navigate these charts. That's all we can do. We try to navigate these charts and hopefully see how they play out. And you have your stop losses and you manage your risk, and that's all you can do. That's how you can trade this. Yeah, I'm not in Florida yet. I'm still on the West Coast, so not yet. Yeah, I think if it's low, I think, like I said, if I was in the mind of a seller, a big seller, why would I waste my ammunition selling now when I know there could be a major news event that I could piggyback on and cause and amplify the pain and magnitude of my selling to get the price even lower, right? So why I won't sell. I'm going to hold back. Why waste it? So that's what's happening here, guys. It's a trap being set. Or somebody knows that it has much more money than we do, that Iran's bluffing, and it's a nothing burger again, and they're just front running the news. That's all it is. It's one or the other. That's it. There's no other. There's no other explanation than that. So either, again, is it a bluff, paper tiger, whatever, or are they going to follow through? And the sellers are just being smart. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out though. We're going to find out, I think, pretty soon. I'm just kind of scanning through comments one more time. Yeah, I think, you know, we talked about Intel, Apple buying Intel, if they want them. Yeah, how did Palantir do? They were pumped. Remember they pumped on earnings? How did they end today? How did that go? Yeah, so I was worried about the fade. So this is what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 4. There's your 2. So it pumped all the way back up between the 4 and the 2, just like you would have expected. So this was a massive 5. We lost all of 5. So the technicals actually work. Why it pumps so much? But now we have to see. Now if this high is taken out, then it's bullish, guys. Then I think you know, it was wrong. It's got to be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It's got, and then it's coming. It's going out. It's breaking out. So. Very important level right there, 30.06. But we saw Tesla get all the way up in the early in 21. Like we were a penny short, and we were on my channel watching it. Penny short to break in a technical like this, and then it did just like you saw here, just dropped straight down. And we laughed because it was essentially a risk-free short position. You could have took almost no risk. It was like a free short. Just, hey, what the hell? And it actually paid off because it was like the top before it finally collapsed. So sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get lucky with your shorts, you know. And that's what this could be. This could have been a gift for a short seller. This could be like, because look at the risk. You're very small risk there for a big reward. But yeah, if you want Palantir on the long side, you got to take this high out. You do that, then yeah, it's going up, man. That's the way it goes. Another super chat from ndelper12. Yeah, let's take a look. I think XRP. Yeah, I haven't looked at that post the volatility shock event we had. We did call a lot of XRP right. So we did call the turn here. It looks like we just got the 1 and a flat. So I'll be looking for this flat to play out. So let's go to why is XRP so bullish all of a sudden, guys? Like what's going on with it? Because we saw this chart playing out and we're like, why is this thing getting so bullish again? Let me see here. Sorry, my bad. There. Why is it there you go. So there's no more room for it to go down. So this level has to hold. So I would say you have to assume it's bullish off of 42.7 and it pushes higher. Because if not, then it's going all the way back down. Looks like you're done 5 here. So it should drop maybe to 46, somewhere down here. And then out, hopefully. And then I guess to the moon. And like I said, use your imagination how high it can go. I can't tell you how high it's going to go out of this. I think $1.22 is reasonable, 120. But who knows? Could do one of those crazy things. All right. All that is possible as long as we hold that low. ADA, yeah, let's look at that. We haven't talked about ADA in a long time on our live stream. All right. So yeah, you see, it's been a long time since we looked at it, but we did call this. We did get it. We just took a long time to play out. So hopefully, you know, we did get that. We did get the buy here, right? It just took a while, but now let's look at these swings. Yeah, this is a beautiful impulse off the bottom. Beautiful, right? Now it's like, what is this mess? flat. So you got flat correction. So now you just have to kind of, ooh, we almost took that divergence out there. Looks like so see, that's not a good sign, breaking that low. See, we almost broke it. So that's why the divergence almost got erased, because this was turning into a wave 3, which is what it is. I think I'd be careful in this. You really need it to hold. You really need it to hold this. I mean, maybe it makes it. Maybe it finishes it somehow. You know, it's very ugly, but again, I'm forcing this all. And I have to go to like a lower time frame to look at it properly, but see, there's too much divergence being erased. This isn't a proper way for me to label it. So I think you're still in wave 3. I think it's going to go lower. It's probably breaking this low. So I do think it's going to break that low. If it breaks this low, then this became an ABC connector wave here, a big connector, and I'll give you the next buy target. If it breaks this low, it's 75 cents would be the next area where I could find a bottom, and we'll have to I'll relabel the chart later, but you get the idea. But maybe you get lucky and it can hold the low. Total DeFi backtest. Yeah, I can't do that one because I'm not familiar with how to do that. So it's just pretty much symbols is all I do. I don't do the wick off and all that. So you'll have to just, if you want to rephrase it a little bit, so I could just look up the symbol. I'll do that, analyze it for you. Okay, BOJ just said they won't raise rates in an unstable market. That's why the yen just dumped. Yeah, so the yen was expected to continue higher, right? Here, let's see. Let's go back to the yen. I mean, weaker. See, right? So we didn't get this. So we're still in. Remember, we're still in this wave here. And then we have this sell area. So remember, the Bank of Japan is notorious for, you know, making proclamations or interventions, and they usually fail a few days later. So the market always rules. So we'll see what happens. But this is what we were thinking. So now that it did that, now we have a connector. Okay, good. We have a connector. And now it's a better structure to trade than that other one. So it's kind of back to where we were with it. So I have to wait and see how this plays out. But since you're in a connector, it could chop around here for a while. But at some point, I expect it to fail again and go lower. Okay, total DeFi. I'll try to look that up. Total DeFi. All right. So Looks like it's moved down in 5 there. And then that's a connector. And now we need another 5 down. Looks like that's like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I think it's going down. So it's see how it did that? It's got to do something like that. Okay, so that's where it's heading. It's probably going to come down and break that low in a 1, 2, 3 wave move, and then you'll get a big run higher later. Yeah, I'm just kind of scanning your guys' comments. Well, I appreciate everything. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Good night, and we'll see what happens. And you know, I think a market, you know, the technicals kind of just, you know, run the show here for the most part. So we'll just have to wait and see how these technicals play out tonight. It'll be very interesting to see how this goes. See how things go. That may be it. You could see it right on our channel, getting it rejected, right where he expected it. I don't know if I'm that good. I'll be crazy if that's right there. We got it basically down to points, but way too early. Way too early to get excited on that. How's the ES doing? Yeah, the Russell's not a really good setup, but I think it's still got to go higher, the Russell. Well, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, crazy market, crazy news events, a lot of volatility.